Thank you for staying with us. Kebbi State, northwest Nigeria, on our minds, and for the sad reason, about 40 members of the Vigilantes group have been killed by bandits in Sakaba local government area of the state. An indigene of the area, Muhammad Lawal, said members of the Vigilantes group were going for an operation in Dankolo village when they ran into an ambush by bandits. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has mourned the loss of the Vigilance men and expressed sadness over the ugly incidents. Jide, things like this, when you say 40 members of this Vigilance group, it's a national disaster, but we'll never get a prominent mention on our national daily.
Yes, this is not the first time this will happen. And that's why I quarrel with governors telling people to harm themselves, to confront the bandits and all that. It makes no sense to make such suggestions because they don't have the weapons that these people have. Every time vigilance men confronted bandits and killed them, it always resulted in heavy casualty on the side of the vigilance men because they will come for them. And what do they carry? Then gun. How many of them even have pump action? They have then gun and juju. And these ones have AK-47, AK-49. They have RPGs. An RPG fired directly at people who kill anything within a 50-meter radius. So the people who use RPG, they know what they want to derive from it. And bandits use RPG a lot. RPG was designed as tank busters to destroy armor tanks. So you can imagine firing it at people. These ones are not using it for armor tanks. They fire direct. They use it to give them an advantage. So that where they do not even have numerical advantage, the RPG will give that numerical advantage because of its firepower. So I'm not surprised that this has happened because I read when they killed those bandits, I read about it. And I was thinking this could happen. They don't, once you kill them like that, they are going to wait. They're going to wait. And I'm sure they got information that they were moving. Because every success by the vigilance group encourages others to say, okay, let us go on another operation. So they got information that they were moving and they waited for them. Remember sometime, last year or 2021, in this same Kebbi state, especially the Kebbi South, women, wives of soldiers, they came out to protest that enough is enough because these guys were slaughtering soldiers. Bandits were killing soldiers with reckless abandon. And the women had to go and protest because they brought the corpses of their husbands again. They said, no, this has to stop. The level of banditry along the border with Niger State, in Kebbi State, is so high. We want to see something done to put an end to the threats that these people constitute. These boys should not die in vain. They shouldn't die in vain.
Again, looking at this, the way they operate and the rescue time, it's always very disappointing. It's as if we don't have enough security presence around the states because the way these bandits, they ride roughshod over people, operate for hours without security presence.
Yes, well, we don't have enough men to man most of these places. Some of these states are so big and so large. For instance, a state like Borno is a state like Borno is almost as big as the landmass of the whole of the southeast, almost. That is Borno alone. Then you can now look at also the stretch. Yes, that's what I'm saying. If not bigger, you know,
Borno
bigger.
alone.
Yes, Borno alone. Yes, Borno alone.
On top of Niger State.
Yes. Then Niger State, you're talking of Zamfara. Okay, now talking about Kebbi. These are very, very large mass of lands. So you don't expect that we have enough. My worry is that I believe and I thought that these vigilante guys would have been embedded with the army, the military. Fine, they know most of the routes, they know where most of these people are, but they don't have the capacity. I would rather use them for information gathering rather than confrontational. If you're going to get them to confront them, you must arm them very well.
Yes.
We are not prepared.
That is it, and we're not ready to arm them.
Because the way they kill these guys.
We're ready to arm them. Those are proof. Ask yourself, AY, what type of gun was approved by the federal government for Amotekun?
Then
guns. And that was why the governor of Ondo State was crying. You cannot hold a then gun and hold some charms and say that you can confront somebody with AK-47. AK-47 that even close or RPG or whatever other distance. Yes, those are the things.
RPG.
That is it.
Because
these guys are making so much money from banditry. They are making so much money from mining. They're investing. And they're investing weapons. That even our Nigerian army find it difficult to confront them with what we have. Talk less of people.
Yes,
so they kill soldiers at will. And that is a problem.
Joining us now from Zoom, from Zuru in Kebbi State, for more on this discussion is the chairman of Zuru Patriotic Forum, Yusuf Tadi. Thank you for joining us, Yusuf.
You're welcome, sir.
Can you please give us the situation of things there now in your local government?
Yeah, the situation is alarming. Because in Zulu Emirate, we have 4 local governments. We have 5 chiefdoms. Sakaba is a chiefdom in Zulu local government. I mean, Zulu Emirate. While Wasagu is there, they both share the same boundary with Zamfara State. Zamfara is the epicenter of banditry. So these guys always came from Zamfara through a particular route. Through either they will come through Wasagu, then through to Sakaba, then to upper part of the state, in parts of Yauri Emirate. Let me tell you what happened even day before yesterday. They came in, passed through one cemetery in Wasagu. They came to Wasagu town, and on getting to the town, all the members of the town, the men were ready, and they engaged them in a fight when they killed one of their senior guy, that was Yulu. Yeah. Until this moment I'm talking to you, all that the Wasagu and Bena are in fear, because when these guys are coming up, they'll come back in hundreds. Let me tell you. They'll come back in hundreds. They are not coming like in 2s or 3s or 20s or 30s. No. Why you find military men dying there is because most of these military guys in the position that are stationed there are not sufficient enough to face the danger. They are not. They are only taken there I think the government is only taking their life there. Like what happened in Naumuru last week. This there was a kidnap. So the Mopol officer decided to chase the bandit and bring back those they kidnapped. When he brought them back, the bandit now planned and re-attacked him. That was the result. They attacked and kill him and all the people around. You understand? So coming to Bena, the same day they entered Wasagu, they invaded Bena, and some of these bandits were killed. Some of them were killed. So the people of Wasagu and Bena are now in fear, serious fear, because anytime these guys will launch another attack, it's going to be deadly. Let me tell you, it's going to be deadly. And the government says we should protect ourselves. How could we? That's the question. You can't just ask people to protect themselves to face somebody carrying sophisticated weapon. Like you said, the RPG, the AK-49, the AK-47, and so on. So you can't ask somebody who is carrying a stick to fight with somebody who is holding a gun.
Yes, sir. Please.
It's a joke. So that is what is happening there. And let me tell you, Zuru is a food basket of Kebbi Sokoto Zamfara State. This insurgency, this banditry has stopped people from going to farm. It has stopped a lot of the economy is declining. Let me tell you, there are a lot of factors militating against the improvement of security of the area. One, you have these bad rules that lead to all this, any federal rule, even though awarded, because in 2016, 2017, Gamji to Gadazema Road was awarded at 11.something billion, still not done. And in 2021, Koko to Zuru Road is awarded at 19.7 billion, still not done. And these are the roads. Even if you send the military to go there and for intervention, before they get to Zuru, let me tell you, a lot of people are killed. A lot of people are killed. No road, the road is deplorable, is dilapidated, let me tell you. Nothing there, nothing for us. So even the state road there, you can't, no road you cannot fly on any road.
Now, we've had this kind of killings in the past, whereby these attempts were made to resist these bandits, especially in the Zuru area, in the Kebbi South. And attempts were made to resist these bandits only for them to come back and kill people. There was even a case of about 80 people killed in one day, I think in this same Wasugu area. Why is it that our people still continue to confront them, knowing that they don't stand a chance against these heavily armed bandits?
Because we are left to our feet. Nothing. Because when you take like 10, 20 soldiers and station them to face 200 bandits or 300 bandits, how could they do that? How can they face such crowd? Well armed. There's no way. So those even soldiers, I think the security men taken to part of that place, I think the government is only trying to stake their lives. Let them take enough number of security men to that area. Like in Riba, we have a place that our House of Rev built, a very big place that can contain a Mupol barrack. Let them move with the soldier, let them have joint task force there, let them station them there so that they will be listening. Like in fact, local governments here, if you are going through Koko, there's no place that they station army. All of that place. That's why they come through Itakos. They come through here and invade part of Fakai. Sometimes they burnt houses, they cut away with goods, materials and everything. They kill people. It has been like this for long. One major problem is that because of the bad rules, we are not even access to media. So we have to now empathize. That's why we try to now get out and tell the world our situation here. People are dying here. If you see the ones you had the other time 2 years ago, it wasn't 80 Vigilantes, it was more than 130.
Yeah?
Their corpses were loaded on truck and divided to their respective towns. You can imagine that sad story. So it has been like that. Nothing, no insurance for any life, and people are moving about. Let me tell you, if you see the poor people moving by the road, sometimes in the night, like day before yesterday, bandits came, they passed through, they came to a place called Makuku. Makuku, they dispersed the whole place. The people ran to the bush to save their lives, and they invaded the town. They passed through. There was one market on Wednesday that was supposed to a market day, so they push everyone to the bush. In fact, they chased people and they ran away. That has been the problem there. That has been the case in Zuru Emirate for the past 3 years now. And nothing is on. Let me tell you, honestly speaking, if you are in Kebbi State let's say if you are in Building Kebbi headquarters, if you are in Zuru, you are not even access to Kebbi TV and you are not access to Kebbi radio. You cannot listen or watch the TV program. Neither do we have any functional NTA station that we can hear all these things to the world, so that people, the government will come to. But the governor is fully aware. He doesn't go to Zuru by road because he knows he has done nothing on the issue of the road. He doesn't go there. He use because we have an airstrip, an airport there, so he uses flight.
Yeah. Okay.
So he uses flight to go to there for condolences. Each time we die, you come for condolences.
Yes.
And maybe with some token.
Yes, let me ask this question. First and foremost, I know that the Emir of Zuru is Major General Sani Sami retired. If I'm very right, I know that he used to be an Emir in Zuru. I don't know whether he's still the Emir. Yes, I'm sure he's still there. But my question is, what is the state, now that you've spoken about it, what is the state government doing to be able to help us? Yes, because it's always easier for us to blame the federal government is not doing much, not deploying enough police. I mean, what is the state government doing? Because these are indigenous of Kebbi State. What has been the reaction of the state government to some of these issues?
I know, let me tell you, I thank the TVC now, because the TVC now bring a link to us so that we can reach out to the world. And the governor is doing nothing. Let me say nothing apart from coming for condolences. Nothing. Like some CS was NGOs. Given you're looking at the situation, we sometimes open windows and get some money, millions, so that we go around and support our IDPs in their respective places. We meet them where they are and provide immediate solution. I mean, something they can use immediately to survive. Let me tell you, nothing whatsoever. If you sometimes with the governor will only come with, let's say, 5 million, give this, is 5 million enough to save life? When you ask people to protect themselves, I think you should engage. One, you have to train them. You recruit them. You train them, because even the military are recruited and trained. They're the most essential institution when you talk of protection of land and territory. So, anyone can recruit himself into local. Yeah. No. Anyone can recruit himself into local vigilante there. That is why each time the people die in mass. I mean, so many people die because they don't even know what it is to face somebody with sophisticated weapon. When your parents are killed, you come out in the morning, you see somebody that killed your parents. I think you don't hesitate to. So that's what's happening here. People are angry. People are angry because they can no longer go to farm. They can no longer, in fact, at Zuru, as you see it, we are into farming businesses. We are into farming business. You see people who are in a yard will harvest more than 10,000 bags of food. But today, they cannot farm. Some of them run out of those villages they used to be to the nearest towns, like in Zuru now. We are having people leaving villages to main Zuru town because there's no protection where they are. There's no protection. Like in Wasagu, what they do, Wasagu and Bena, they will just come invade your house, kidnap your family, your children, to the bush, to their den. So unless and until you pay them 20 millions and maybe with some motorbikes before they release them, it has been like that. Let me tell you, in Danko Chiefdom, they kidnapped, or let me say they abducted the family of the chiefdom himself, the chief. And he had to pay ransom for them to come back. He had to pay ransom. So Danko is porous, just like like Nigerian border. There's no security men stationed in Danko Chiefdom, no security men stationed in Pakai Chiefdom. You understand? No, Zuru we have barrack, but with no enough military personnel to contain this trouble.
Now,
that is the problem.
Malam, will you support the idea of state police? Because when I look at Zuru Emirate is full of soldiers, retired soldiers, and even current soldiers. And I remember even Colonel Sakaba, who was killed, in the northeast, in the thick of battle. Or the commanding officer who was killed, I think about 3 or 4 years ago. You
3
have,
years ago.
Yes, you have people can train people to handle firearms in the event of government agreeing to state police. Is this something that you would want to see, or are you one of those who believe that Nigeria is not ripe for state police at this time?
No, there are issues you have to look into before you agree to that. First of all, that's the government will to provide security to protect lives and property. So, you understand. Most of these guys that are craving for state police are not going to do it in the interest of the masses. They will use them as the state police to pursue their political career. I think that is our fear. But if only the state police will come and do the needful, why not? We need them. We need them. But the fear is these guys at the helm of affairs, you know how the APA, they can use police to intimidate others, their opposition and this and that. Let me tell you, in Zuru Emirate, we have one fear now. Because by the governor telling us to protect ourselves, not even then gone, you see people carrying them gone. The fear is the rate of crime, will increase. If you take the statistics, if you take statistics between 2019 to date, the crime rate in Zuru has increased because people now feel free to walk around with naked weapons. Let me say, then gun, machete, and other things. Government is supposed to regulate this thing and put everything under control. Not just to tell people go and protect yourself without any arrangement. That's why they fail. It's a failure. I look at it as failure. If you tell somebody to go and protect himself, now you must provide the insurance for his life. What if he's killed? What will his family benefit from his death? Or will the family continue to live? Because we have so many widows in Zuru now. So many that are left behind. Their men were killed in a fire exchange with the bandits. Let me tell you, I'm not precise, but I know there are more than 1,000 or 2,000 or so. I'm telling you.
People have been killed.
Yes, those who died in fire exchange with the bandits.
In how many years?
In 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
In 3 years.
1,000 people.
More than 1,000 more.
So what is the position of the emir, who is a retired major general? What's his position on this?
His position is to make sure that his land and the people are protected. That is his position. And he encourages peace, that people should learn to live in peace and investigate who comes, a new face that comes around, so that we know if we have any bad mind around. You understand? You always call for peace. But bandits, there are not people living in our midst. You don't know what they plan, you don't know where they will go, because they are marauding. They are marauding.
Why is Zuru of all places being targeted? Because we hardly hear of attacks in Argungu Emirate and even the Brunei Kebbi area. Why is Zuru being targeted?
The bandits usually target people for money. And let me tell you, we are into farming business, like I told you. The Dankosebu and Sakaba, I told you, and Zuru Emirate, the entire Zuru Emirate, are into farming business. That's why I told you earlier on, they are the food basket of Kebbi and Kosti. They even produce for external for export businesses. You understand? So the bandit observe that there are a lot of rich men around Donkoso who don't even care about the government, who live on their own. So they now invade their houses and start picking them and attack them whenever, because sometimes they will attack and break shops. When they break shops, they will cut away with goods. They pack a lot of things, and there are cattle rustlers. All the ships around, the cattle around were stolen by the bandits. You hardly can see somebody with 100 cows now in my emirate. You hardly can see.
Yes.
So the place.
Yes. If I might ask you finally, if you have the opportunity of meeting the Chief of Army Staff one-on-one today, what will you tell him about your people? What assistance will you seek from him?
I will tell him to first station army. Let us have the army base in Dankoso, because their route is there. That's where they always penetrate. That's where they come from, Zamfara, and invade us. So let there be an army base there. Even if it means the only serving Zuru soldiers were to be the ones to be deployed to the base. Let's have the army, because if our people, the serving people, will be deployed to Zuru to protect that land, let me tell you what will happen. You will have more than 2,000 or 3,000, or let me say even 5,000 soldiers in Zuru to protect that land.
That is true.
Because we have them in the military. We still have them, and it's their parents that are being killed here.
Sad.
So if he's not going to give us, let him sign. Every Zulu person should come and protect this land. And see if those bandits will exist in 7 days.
I know you've been talking about that Zuru as the food basket of Kebbi State, and we know Kebbi State is very high on agriculture, especially rice farming and everything. How has that impacted on farming in the state so far?
Let me tell you, there are even you see, it has it has impacted in the economic growth of the state. Because that's why you find people cultivating guinea corn, maize, to a larger extent, that to a commercial quantity, large commercial quantity. I'm not talking about, sometimes, like I told you, have one farmer will harvest more than 10,000 bags of food, more than 10,000. So you can imagine, if you have 50 of them in a year, cultivate more than 10,000, what would you think? Apart from those before them.
It's a big place.
So it has impacted on it. Let me tell you, that is it. You have trucks there. Maybe that is even why our roads are being tattered, because they always carry foods from Zuru to upper part or Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, this part of the state.
I want to thank you.
That has been the trend.
I want to thank you, the chairman of Zuru Patriotic Forum, that's Yusuf Tadi. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you.
If you don't have this kind of insights into what is going on, that's why Journalist Hangout is unique, especially Journalist Hangout on Sunday. This kind of insights will just give us the plight, what people are really facing. You can't be in Lagos, you can't be in Abuja, you can't be in Port Harcourt and, generalizing about what's happening in the country.
The state of security.
People
tell us, oh, bandits are taking a break, they are not operating anymore. Those things that we were
hearing. It's at the epicenter of violence.
He said something that a lot of these things don't even get reported because they don't have a radio station.
There's no NTA. There's no NTA relay station there to watch.
I tell you, in that Wasugu, 80 persons were killed. I think it was 2 years ago or so. 80 persons, I remember very well. And he was also talking about an incident in which 130 people were killed. And he said in 3 years, up to 1,000
people
have been killed in just 3 years.
Imagine anybody killing 130 people in France or Spain as a whole country.
If you kill 130 persons, it's a war.
It's a war.
War will be declared by the country.
It's war.
There's no way people you can't even kill 10 persons.
Even the government will resign. The government will brought down.
What happened in Sri Lanka when that guy entered into that hall and was killing people? The Minister of Defense
resigned. He resigned immediately.
This thing, the way people die, I've said it before that the way Nigerians get killed, not even in war-torn Syria, are they killing people like that?
Or even Ukraine, that is at war with Russia. It's not possible.
Ukraine, they will bomb.
They just bomb buildings.
Sometimes you hear that only 3 persons
died. 3 people died.
There's nowhere that I know.
Nowhere in the world.
In this world where people are being killed the way Nigerians are being killed. This is just one senatorial zone. Zuru,
in Kebbi State.
Kebbi South. Just one senatorial zone. People are being killed like this. It's terrible. One emirate.
Just one.
People are being killed in this manner. We have not gone to Kaduna. We have not gone to Zamfara. We have not gone to Niger. We have not gone to Katsina.
Nasarawa and rest.
I was reading about what happened in Katsina. Say about 40 people just scattered away.
Even in South Africa,
bandits have come back in full force. The elections are gone. They've come back. During the election, people were not really reporting their activities. We were focusing on politicians because that's what people want to read, or people wanted to read. But now, the elections are over. We are seeing more and more stories about banditry. Churches being attacked, people taken away. Mosque being attacked in Niger, people taken away. So it says something that, look, the incoming administration has to find a way to solve this problem. Honestly, if security improves, it will be one of the ways of judging the administration quickly. You remember when Obasanjo came in 1999 and he solved he came in at a time when we were experiencing fuel scarcity. Obasanjo then found a way to take away that fuel scarcity. I remember one of the biggest critics in northern Nigeria, Abdul Karim Dayabu of Kano. He said even God will be happy with Obasanjo at this time. I memorized what he said. Because in Kano at that time, it was difficult to buy fuel. But he came and the problem disappeared. Even if the problem still came back, the first few months, people experienced some respite from the scarcity. They appreciated the government. So one of the first things that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has to address is this insecurity, especially in the Northwest, which is the major food belt of our country. The Northwest is the major food belt of our country. You go to Zaria area, tomatoes, name it. They have everything. God has so blessed the North with fertile land. But our people now, to even go into their farms, is difficult. You can see people, in some cases, they will say you must pay before you can access your farm.
Paying taxes to them.
Yes.
If you don't pay, they will kill you.
It is. Not just, even if you see in the past few weeks what has been happening in southern Kaduna, it's also underreported.
Yes.
A lot of people have been killed in southern Kaduna.
Benue
State. A lot of people are being killed in Benue. And that is also the food basket of the nation. By headsmen, they are coming. It's like they went to reinforce. And now coming back. I don't know what the issue is. But as we said, I've always said it time with a number that when the handlers of the president, the current president, are saying that he has done so well, I said there's no way the president is going to set an example for himself and mark his script. Nigerians are the ones that want to mark. We, as citizens, are the ones that want to mark the script of President Muhammadu Buhari. And one of
We have the marking
we have the marking scheme. One of them is going to be security. Because this is one of the promises he made to Nigerians. In fact, one of the main reasons why Nigerians were elected into it is because he was a retired general. Nigerians believed that he would be able to solve the problem.
Even Obasanjo, I remember Obasanjo,
Yes,
when he
he
was
said-
assessing the president, he said, I don't think he will
In
do
economy,
well on
in the economy.
but security,
But security that
he will do well. That is
But-
a prediction that
but look,
failed.
if you look at
Because
the
he
figures,
simply assumed that because he's a retired general, that he will be able to...
he has the
bring
magic
security.
wand.
It's more than that.
Yeah, it's
That
not.
prediction, Obasanjo has failed.
It's failed.
Because
Totally.
I can even say that the president, that you look at the areas where he has performed poorly, security stands as number one.
Yes, he's
Because you can praise him on infrastructure and all that. But the thing
terms of
about
security.
this thing is, look, people will not talk
people will
about
not appreciate
infrastructure.
those infrastructure.
They will
He's
remember
about
Yes,
the number
in
of
the
people that
midst of
yes.
insecurity.
You know, because
those who have
also,
lost their family members
because,
and all that.
and insecurity also has a way of affecting every other
It's
aspect.
affecting the
It's
economy.
it's affecting
Direct
the
investment,
direct foreign investment and the rest of them.
Why was
it will
Emefiele
affect it.
begging
Yes.
bandits?
Yes. It
Foreign
affects it.
nations.
Foreign
He was
nations.
begging
When
them
they-
now.
when they know that
But
the
farmers
don't go
are
to
not
this
paying-
state.
When
Don't
they-
go to this state. Don't go to that state.
when they know that the country is not safe, then nobody will come and drop his money here.
I'm sure if I check the American website now,
Well,
there's some states in
yeah.
Nigeria, a lot of states.
Then
that
the
they
prices
go
of
area.
food prices that MBS come out to give us figures every month. The rise in food prices is also because of insecurity.
Insecurity, not
Because people are not going back to their farms, they cannot be able to produce and send to sell. So even the ones that they produce,
See, Ram,
part
if
of
you
it
want to
because-
buy Ram,
The-
maybe I went into a market and I was pricing Ram, and they were saying the places in Katsina and other where they used to get this Ram, that they can't access those
they
places
can't.
anymore.
They can't. They
So the
can't.
ones that are available, they will be sold
Even
at a
the
premium.
cows, even the cows, the bandits come and
The cattle
and the
roasting,
cattle roasting and pack them away. So it is a.
How can you
so
breed
it
your
can't.
animals when you are not at peace yourself?
It's not possible.
How do you breed animals?
not
Animals
possible.
need attention. How do you breed them when you are not at peace?
How-
And
Thank
this is a Zuru that the emir is a retired general, which I thought that would have
In northern Nigeria, they have the highest
number
number
of
of
soldiers. Zuru, go and check it
And they are
out.
Chris
killing their
Kedewandu, thank you for your contribution.
Thank you very much for having me.
Go on and on, but it's so unfortunate that this security situation will be a major setback and a major minus.
It's a major blot.
It's a-
called-
It's
it's
a major
called
blot on the copy
Yes,
of the
Muhammadu
president.
Buhari that we're counting down in 2 weeks' time. The administration
Mondays
will
from now.
wind down. Finally,
That is, if the people who are holding rallies, who are going to court,
no, those one will be
stop
put
it.
to shame effectively.
Let us,
whether-
and then the pastors.
No, we'll be here back here. We'll be back here to talk
See
about
whether
it.
their prediction.
Yes, we'll be back here. Maybe
Nothing will stop the immigration. It's
we'll be
only
back here
God.
after
It
the
has,
inauguration.
that has been sorted out.
We'll put to shame. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for the regular episode of Journalist Hangout by 5 p.m. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight by 11:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. See you next week.